welcome to another video here on the Critical Focus channel. First off, a big shout out to all my members who support my work and keeps the paint flowing and the electricity running. Members do get access to the member Discord, will influence the content, the matchups, whatnot. There is a join button below if you feel so inclined. But regardless, I am happy for your support in the form of actually just watching the video, of a like and a comment, and if you haven't already, please do feel free to subscribe as well. And if you are looking to buy Warhammer merch, there is an affiliate link in the video description as well. Let's get on with the video. Alright, here they are, the Beastgrabbaz of Borgit. A big thanks to Games Workshop for sending me these ahead of time to playtest and review, and simultaneously to this upload there's an all-new battle report featuring these guys with special guest and tabletop extraordinaire Jonas Ferring. So I'm playing these guys and he is playing post-nerf Drom as he prepares for an upcoming Grand Clash in Nottingham, so he's sort of deciding between Droms and Morgoks. So he gave us a visit, which we were very thankful for, so do make sure to check that one out. We recorded 3 games with Jonas, so there will be more to come as well. In addition to that battle report, there's also another simultaneous upload with my review of the Edge of the Knife rival deck, which you will see me use in the aforementioned battle report as well. So let's talk briefly about the models first. I'm not a Gits player at heart, but these models were great fun to paint. Got a lot of character, the caveat being that even though there are just 5 models, they have a lot of details between them, with a shebang of snotlings, mushrooms and other knickknacks. So keep that in mind, it's not the most beginner-friendly warband to paint, but other than that I can highly recommend getting them, and I'm not simply saying that because I get stuff for free. They went together very smoothly assembly-wise, however I'm not here to give you a sprue review. I can hardly think of anything more tedious to do and to watch, I guess. Let's look at the fighter cards. First up we have the mighty Borgit, who is no shabby git at all, sporting 2 hammers, 2 damage, with crit grievous on 3 health, with a very stoic 2 block defense with a move of 3. And to expedite things, I'll just say that they are all 3 move uninspired, and they all except the troll picks up an extra move on their golden side. So there's that. Obviously health 3 is risky business, but we didn't expect more than 3 health from a git leader, but we also certainly did not expect the very potent 2 block or 2 shields, I guess, which is, I think, a lot more valuable a stat than, say, an extra health overall. Flip him over and he picks up an extra hammer, which paired with the war scroll ability is very solid and will land you that crit grievous. Next we have the baby troll, who is the cutest of them all, and actually not a baby. And Borgit is indeed trying to grow him to huge size, but alas, he has failed so far as the warband's living quarters are very cramped, and instead he is rather hindering the growth of the poor Uglug. But never mind that lore tidbit, this guy is a beast regardless of his size, one of a select few fighters in Underworlds to sport 2 damage from range 2 uninspired, with 2 hammers and cleave to boot as well. Slap the war scroll ability, which I will talk about later on that, and his attacks will land very often while also keeping enemies at arm's length with his range. He also sports a massive 5 health on a single block. Inspire him and he becomes even more of a beast as he picks up Grievous, while also keeping the option to go cleave if you don't need the extra damage, and picks up, even more importantly, a second shield, which on 5 health is very scary. A very, very solid fighter indeed. Then we have 2 sort of chefs that we don't need to talk all that much about, but they are great models. Sham is the hilarious twin fighter hidden under the skin of a dead squig to usher Uglug onwards, pretending to be his pet, and his attack profile is rather lackluster, and the same goes for Arrow Boy over here, but the fact that they both sports double defense from the get-go makes the warband tough to bring down without above par rolling. The last fighter is Snags, who is sort of third in line as potent fighters goes, with also that solid 2 dodge with a range 2, 2 hammers, 1 damage attack with grapple for a sort of versatile drive back option, and inspired he picks up an extra damage as well from that range 2, which is very solid. Let's check the war scroll. First up, an individual but very basic inspire, which I'm not sure how it plays into the backstory, honestly, but I might be missing something there. They simply inspire after delving, which I guess balances out the awesome defense they sport with a stagger from delving, but it's not a major blow, honestly. If you play it sort of clever, mostly it will happen late round if you can avoid it, but yeah, it lends itself very well into pillage and plunder. And to add to that, only really the troll is a vital inspire. It's nice to inspire snags and then the leader as well, but the other two you can sort of disregard. Since the leader is already on 2 block uninspired, it's not all that pivotal to inspire him, and the little guys don't really gain much from inspiring, as they stay on that 1 damage and already have the solid 2 dodge. Sure, the extra move can help on a lot of them except the troll, but that's about it. The troll, however, picks up that vital 2 block and Grievous from range 2 and is sort of a big deal to get inspired. Individual inspires are a slow sort of mechanic, but as I said, it's not super necessarily, mostly for this warband. Make the troll inspired in front of round 2 and go crazy with him. Next up is the Trophy Hunters, which is very tasty indeed. At the start of your first action step in the first battle round, pick a 3+ health fighter from the enemy allotment to be that trophy, and from that point onwards you'll have +1 dice on melee attacks that target that fighter. Wow, that's very good and helps everyone except the archer boy, unless you can give him a weapon upgrade, of course. Pick an easy kill to make sure to get the glory rolling even in the first round, or be slightly more ambitious and pick someone bigger like Kanan or Black Powder to wind him down slowly across the turns and keep that buff going. Next up we have Debate, which means the leader gets to be pushed X hexes when the friendly minion dies, where X is the amount of health the minion had, but that push must end adjacent to an enemy. Would have maybe made more lore-wise sense for the troll, but that would also maybe have been a tad bit too strong, honestly. And this is not crap either. And after all, even if you plan to hit with the troll, having the leader pushed up to apply support for that attack is not dog crap either. And do note, this triggers not only from enemy kills but from any source, so if you get ping damage to death you can still complete that push with the leader. Alright, the once per game abilities then. Gittish Tactics is a reaction to give the minions melee weapons crit Grievous for the round versus a target that was successfully hit by the leader or the troll. And yeah, all except those 2 fighters are indeed minions, and paired with the +1 dice from Trophy Hunters, crit Grievous could be a decent enough effect on an inspired snags, for example. It's pretty tasty. Next up is a Reassuring Presence, which means that after Ugluk makes a core ability, you can push each minion up to 3 hexes, but must end each of those pushes next to Ugluk. So say you have a minion in a bad position next to a scary enemy, but you don't really fancy wasting a turn simply moving a rather unimportant minion away, but you also don't want to give away free glory basically. So you can instead do an attack with Ugluk, say, which is what you really want to be doing, bashing in skulls with your petrol, and at the same time get your minions the hell out of dodge. And our last ability here is Stab 'em Good, which means the minions pulls a Thunderic move out of their little mushroom caps and makes adjacent hexes into a minefield after making a core ability. This is pretty nice as well, so this takes effect after your action step and it lasts until the end of the next one. So say you are sitting on a card that pushes an enemy fighter, you can pretty much capitalize on this directly, and obviously it's also useful as a deterrent to save a little guy in a pinch. So all useful stuff here, strong inspires, very strong troll, plethora of good fighters surrounding him as well, and I've already had a lot of fun with this warband, so I highly recommend getting them, as I said. As far as pairings go, Pillage and Plunder / Cataclysm could work really well, I would argue, but they have the muscle to go full aggro as well, and the staying power to hold objectives as well, so I think there is a lot of routes to go here. Stay tuned for more gits and other denizens of the underworlds and the mortal realms at large here on the Critical Focus channel. Have a great rest of your day, take care, and have fun with your new pet troll.